Hello, Peps, come back to another live class, and today we're going to be doing our performance task being Monday. So we're going to get straight into that now as soon as I remind you of our schedule. Hello, CSEC math students. I know you are busy preparing for your math test and your CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. Do you like my new hat? Now, another important question. Have you ever a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake, or you have, as thousands of other students have? Now, in this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics. CSEC math, we're going to look at the common errors, justify everything. Make sure you watch every video series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So stay tuned. Hello, scholars. Did you know that get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single or one mistake? Absolutely true. And where at the common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid making them. Are you ready? Come on, take my hand. All right, guys, so let's go into our performance, and I'm going to be inviting my studio guests to come on screen. All right, so welcome Amari, welcome Jer, welcome John, Madison, and Jaden. John, why are you making that face?
Hello, miss.
Hi, everyone. So we're going to share this, and today we're let me know when you can see this. Not see screen yet?
Yes, miss, I can see it. Seeing it, miss.
Okay. Things are just going pretty slowly today. Welcome those in the chat. Welcome Alyssa and others in the. All right, so let's go straight into this. So I need to put that up to the first slide. All right, so there we have it. That's the first slide. All right, so listen, can you read that slide for me? Madison, can you see? Can you read that slide for me, please?
Okay, miss. Taking rubbish. Talking rubbish. Julia and Dave live in the community of Greater Portmore, St. Catherine. The residents have been having some problems regarding sanitation and garbage collection in the area. The Citizens Association (GPCA) has formulated an action plan to help with the problem. The children's father, Mr. Clark, is the president of the GPCA. Talking rubbish. Julia and Dave live in the community of Greater Portmore, St. Catherine. The residents have been having some problems regarding sanitation and garbage collection in the area. The Citizens Association (GPCA) has formulated an action to help with the problem. The children's father, Mr. Clark, is the president of the GPCA. Miss, I'm finished.
Okay, Amara. So we're looking at garbage collection. Task will involve calculations surrounding the collection of garbage in Greater Portmore. So Julie and Dave, their father is the head of the Citizens Association with so many communities today. They're having issues garbage collection as well as sanitation. So for example, you might have the garbage trucks in and persons throw the garbage down with a bagging of garbage or clean garbage afterwards. The trash is just left there. the things that fall out of the bags. So the community has come together and they're going to see, they have devised an action plan, so things that they themselves are going to do, not necessarily relying on the government, because its part in providing the workers, but what can the citizens do to help them? All right, so let's see what this action plan entails. And I'm going to ask Jay this section.
Okay, miss. To raise funds for the action plan, the GPCA has asked that each householder makes a monthly contribution. The fees are not mandatory. Here is the breakdown. Seniors above 65 years and unemployed adults, no fee. Students, $20. Employed adults, minimum
Minimum
wage,
wage.
$250. Employed adults above minimum wage, $500. To raise funds for the action plan, the GPCA has asked that each householder makes a monthly contribution. The fees are not mandatory. Here is the breakdown. Seniors above 65 years and unemployed adults don't have to no fee. Students, $20. Employed adults, minimum wage, $250. Employed adults above minimum wage, $500.
All right, so let me ask you two things to make sure we understand what this is saying. When we say that the fees are not mandatory, what does that mean?
Means you don't have to pay them. You don't have to.
Okay, don't have to pay. So it's something you are being asked to pay, if you want to, if you feel it in your heart to contribute. It's not like you have to pay it, or like anybody, can do you anything if you decide not to pay it, right? So they're just appealing to the citizen together, put some funds together and do something to help towards the pile up of garbage in the community. Let me ask you another question. Good night, Legende and Anusha. Welcome also in the chat. What minimum wage? What is that?
It's the minimum amount of money that the person is paid.
All right, it's an idea. It's along those lines, but in most countries, certainly in Jamaica, we call a minimum wage, which sets as it's the least amount of money that you can legally pay certain workers a week. And what this does is that it sets the bar so that workers are not taken advantage of. So even if you're doing, certain jobs that people look on and you don't particularly need any great qualifications for, so something is put in place to ensure that you are given at least a certain amount that you can live, and that is called. It's not a lot compared to what more qualified workers will get, but it's something that at least ensures that you will have some money left back after you pay your transportation, you cover your major bills, at least something to say, I'm working, this is what I'm working for. Now, it's something that persons argue about to say, well, even this amount is enough for someone to really live by, but at least that amount is set, right? So the Citizens Association is saying, okay, we know that there are some workers who are not making money. They are only making the minimum wage or maybe a little more. So they have said, all right, if you're making the minimum wage, we're just going to ask you to pay $250 because we know that you're not earning a lot. If you're an elderly or someone currently unemployed, we do have no means of getting any money, so we're not going to ask you for any money. That's what they're saying. Employed and they're earning above the minimum, whether they're self-employed or they're employed with someone else, they will pay $500 per month. Students, just $20 per month, because students, they'll get their lunch money, they might get their allowance, and the Citizens Association is trying to foster a sense of community spirit in the children. So it's not a lot of money they get for lunch, most of them, but willing to put aside $20 per month, it shows civic courage, civic pride in the youngsters. So just $20. All right, so that's what each person is asked to have to pay. All right, Jer, read in the red, read the question and then read the section in the red for me, please, twice.
Okay, miss. How much would each of these persons be expected to pay? Seniors above 65 and unemployed adults, no fee.
That's just a repetition, Jer, of the fees. That's why I asked you to read the red.
Okay, miss. A. Junior, a primary school student in grade 6. Paul, a laborer who has been out of a job since January. Mrs. Deli, a retired pharmacist. Mr. Scott, a security guard earning the minimum wage. Mr. Shaw, a doctor who runs his own practice. How much would each of these persons be expected to pay? A. Junior, a primary school student in grade 6. B. Paul, a laborer who has been out of job since January. Mrs. Daly, a retired pharmacist. Mr. Scott, a security guard earning the minimum wage. E. Mr. Shaw, a doctor who runs his own practice.
All right, so based on the fees, you can look to the left and you'll see the fees. How much Junior be expected to pay per month?
Miss, $20.
$20, right? Because he is
A
a
student.
student. So $20 a month. Okay. How about B? Paul pay.
Miss, he doesn't have to pay a fee since he's unemployed.
Okay, so Paul has not had a job. Sorry, he's unemployed, so he doesn't have to pay. How about Mrs. Daly? C.
Miss, she also doesn't have to pay any fee since she's retired.
Right, so Miss Daly is retired. She has reached or past the age of retirement, so she's a senior. She have to pay. How about Mr. Scott?
Miss, $250.
$250.
Okay, so Mr. Scott, $250, and
$500.
500.
so correct. All right, so I'm seeing the answers coming in and everybody agreeing basically to the fees that we just mentioned. Mr. Shaw is a doctor. He has his own practice course, be $500 per month. All right, let me include that per one. Right. So let's move on. Madison, can you read this for me now, please?
A total
Is it that
of
there's something wrong
400.
with your mic, Madison?
No, miss. I was
Go ahead.
reading. Number 2. A total of 453 households have one or more school-age children. What is the least amount of money that the GPCA expects to collect from these students? Number 2. A total of 453 households have one or more school-age children. What is the least amount of money that the GPCA expects to collect from these students?
All right. So, what's the least amount of money that the GPCA expects to collect? Remember, when you're putting your answers,
$20.
your numbers from all the students. The least amount of money for all the households.
9,060, miss.
Yes, miss. 9,060.
Okay, how did you get 9,060?
Miss,
Miss,
I
I multiplied
multiplied
20 by the number of households.
435.
Okay, so it's 453, and so it's asking least amount. So that would be if they have one child, that would be the least. So that's $20 per child. 453 times 20 gives us $9,060. John, you read number 3, please.
Okay, miss. Talk, talking about seniors above 65 years, unemployed adults, no fee. Students $20, employed adults minimum wage $250, employed adults above minimum wage dollars. Number 3. If no household has more than 7 school-age children, what is the maximum amount of money that would be collected from any household? Talking rubbish. Number 4. If no household has more than 7 school-age children, what is the maximum amount of money that would be collected from any household?
All right. If no household has more than 7 school-age children, what is the maximum that any household would be asked to pay? And ideas?
Miss, would you multiply
Yes, Chair.
453 by 20? Then the answer you get, you multiply by 7.
453. Why are you using the 453?
Miss, because it's telling you the amount of households.
The question is asking. The question is asking, what's the maximum that any? That means that each of the households would pay. Any one of the households. This one is asking for all the households. And as a matter of fact, this one isn't telling you households have 7. So it's just saying there's no household with more than. So what's the maximum that any of the households would pay? Madison is saying
Miss,
Madison 20.
1,120.
1,120 for any of the households would most.
Yes, Miss, for 500 times 2 for the two parents, and 20 times 6 gives you 120 for the 6 school age children.
All right, so we're focusing on the children. How much would
Miss, is
the
it
children?
140?
How much would the house?
Oh, Miss, sorry,
All
I
right.
did by 6.
So I see where you're coming from, Madison. There was a loophole. So I think I would need to specify in this question the children, right? And without assuming that it's two-parent household, there's nobody else other than the parents and children. So we're going into assumptions there. So we'd have to limit it to the children. So Jer, you're saying 140.
Yes, Miss.
How do you come about it?
Miss, it's just trying to figure out what would be the rate they would get for one household, Miss. So if the maximum one household would have would be 7, you would just times 7 by 20 and you would get the answer, Miss.
Okay. And that is correct. It's 140. On, please. All right. So I think for this question, I'm going to specify that is for the students, even if I didn't specify, it would leave it too open. We'd have to make too many assumptions. But just to clarify, so we're focusing on the students. Okay, Amari, back to you. Can you read number 4, please?
Okay, Miss. Talking
Ajani,
rubbish. Number 4. Talking rubbish. How much would the Clark
go ahead,
household
Amari.
pay each? Talking rubbish. Number 4. How much would the Clark household pay each month? Mr. Clark is a successful engineer and Mrs. Clark is a renowned attorney. Their eldest of 3 children, Jessica, is in her second year of college and Grandma Clark is 70 years old. Talking rubbish. How much would the Clark household pay each month? Mr. Clark is a successful engineer and Mrs. Clark is a renowned attorney. Their eldest of 3 children, Jessica, is in her second year of college and Grandma Clark is 70 years old.
Excuse
So
me,
how
Miss.
much would the Clark pay?
Miss $1,000?
Yes, Madison.
Miss, does Jessica count as a school age child?
She's in college, meaning that she's over 18,
Yes,
but does she have a
yes.
job? Okay, so she's a
Okay.
school age. She's
No,
school.
she's in college, so she's considered a student. All right. So
Okay, Miss.
what are your
Miss 1,000?
Miss, I have something else.
$1?
$1,000, Miss.
Hold on, let me hear what. Go ahead, Jaden.
Miss $1,000 because Mr. Clark being a successful engineer, meaning that he's not being paid minimum wage, meaning he pays 500, and Mrs. Clark being renowned attorney, meaning that she's also not being paid minimum wage. So that's two 500s. That would equal 1,000. And Jessica being considered a school age student, she doesn't have to pay. She has to pay $20. Yeah. So that's one should be 1,020, not 1,000. Without that, you have to pay $20. And Grandma Clark, being 70 years old, she's supposed to be. Well, she's supposed to be retired, meaning that she pays. No, she doesn't have to pay a fee. So that would be $1,020.
They have two other children.
What is the same?
What?
Miss, I say
Okay, so
1,060.
The reason I didn't include the two children is that it doesn't specify that they actually paid anything. It doesn't specify that they paid anything.
well, there's students.
Excuse me, miss.
Miss,
Can you scroll,
Yes.
can you scroll up back
And
to the John? Because I'm late. Sorry that I'm late, miss.
yes, you're very late, Antoine. All right. Madison is correct, and Alisa is saying the same thing as well. Alisa is saying, oh no, Alisa is saying $810. Ajani is also saying 800, and that's incorrect. So Madison and Jer are saying 1,006. So Antoine was asking to scroll back a little to the fee. Seniors, those who are above 65, and those who are unemployed, they don't have to pay. Students pay $20. Employed adults who are making the minimum wage, they pay $250. And employed adults who are earning above the minimum wage pay $500. So Jane was correct in saying that Mr. Clark and Mrs. Clark would both pay $500 each because they
Yes,
are
miss,
well
but how is it not
established in their careers. Pardon me?
Miss, then how is it
Go
not
ahead, Jane.
1,000? I'm confused because they're saying the other people who got different answers, they're saying that you should include the two other children, but it doesn't necessarily specify
So this
that.
is where it specifies. Jaden, look at this. It says Julia and Dave live in the community, and their father, Mr. Clark. So Mr. Clark is the father of Julia and Dave, right? So that's how we know that they are going to be paying $20 each. And Jessica is
Miss,
also paying $20.
miss, can you click back to the information? I just need to jot off one of it. Okay, miss. Thank you.
Okay. So I think we're at. So you have to hurry up, Antoine, because you were
Yes, miss, you
mighty,
can
mighty
scroll
late.
down.
All
You
right.
can scroll.
So do we agree that it's $1,060?
yes, miss.
Yes,
Yes,
I think
miss.
I agree.
Yes,
Okay.
miss.
So John, I'd love for you to read question 5, please.
Okay. Number 5. If the GPCA collects $2,500 from the minimum wage,
$250,000.
$250,000 from the minimum wage group, and $630,000 from the other employed adults monthly. About how many of each group of workers are living in Greater Portmore? Number 5. If the GPCA collects 2,000 250,000 from the minimum wage from the minimum group
The
from the
minimum
minimum
wage
wage
group.
group essence from the minimum wage group, and $630,000 from the other employed adults monthly. About how many of each group of workers are living in Greater Portland?
All right, how do we approach this one?
Miss,
So the
Miss,
GBCA, they collect 250,000. Yes, Jer?
Miss. So what you would do, you would divide if for the minimum wage number, you would divide it by the amount each resident would pay. So if each resident would give 250, miss, and they got 250,000 from the minimum wage, miss, you can say that 1,000 minimum wage people are in Portmore, and then you would do the same thing for
Okay.
the over the amount 630,000, and you would get 1,260. So you would have 1,000 minimum wage and 1,260 above the minimum wage, miss.
That is correct. That is correct.
Yes, I
So
agree.
1,000 minimum wage work. Okay, and 1,260. All right, Jaden, please read the screen for me twice.
The money collected will be used to buy garbage bags, dumpsters, brooms, and shovels. And the remainder will be given as a bonus to the garbage collectors at the end of each year. The money collected will be used to buy garbage bags, dumpsters, brooms, and shovels, and the remainder will be given as a bonus to the garbage collectors at the end of each year.
All right. Madison, 7A, please.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
7A. A large garbage bag can hold up to 25 kilograms of solid waste. How many of these full bags would make 3 tons? 7A. A large garbage bag can hold up to 25 kilograms of solid waste. How many of these full bags would make 3 tons?
Miss, would it
All
be
right.
120?
Um,
A
how you
thousand
got
kilos.
120?
Wait, is it? Yeah, 1,000
Miss,
kilos a ton.
Miss, first you would figure out how many make a ton, which is 1,000 kilograms. So if it is
Okay.
3 tons, it would be 3,000 kilograms, and you would divide the 250 kilogram bags to see how many you would need to collect that 3 ton of garbage, miss.
And how much would that be?
120, miss.
All right. So Jerry's saying since there are 1,000 kilograms in a ton, so the 3 tons would be 3 times 1,000, which is 3,000. And so you need to see how many of the 25 kilogram bags can we get out of the 3,000. So we divide 3,000 by 25 and we get 120 bags. Antoine, can you read 7B, please?
Okay, miss. Pet performance task, talking rubbish. 7B. A garbage truck can carry 40 large rubbish bags full. If there are 2 trucks operating on pickup day, how many trips would each truck need to make to carry the 3,000 kilograms load? Pet performance task, talking rubbish. 7B. A garbage truck can carry 40 large rubbish bags full. If there are 2 trucks operating on pickup day, how many trips would each how many pickup how many trips would each truck need to make to carry the 3,000 kilograms load?
Miss, would it be 3 trips?
3 trips for each truck.
Yes, miss.
Any other answer? So you're saying in Algiers, right? 3 trips per truck. Any answer? John?
Miss, I agree with Jer.
Jer, how did
Miss, I agree with Jer.
you? So
That is
Jer, tell us how you got 3 trips per
Miss,
truck.
because there are going to be 120 large bags, and a truck can only carry 4. So you would divide 4 into 120, which gives you 3, miss. So that would give you the amount of
A truck
trips.
can carry
And since it's
40 large bags. One truck can carry 40 large bags,
yes, miss.
right?
Miss, I agree with
And
both
it's
Jer.
120 bags. So each of
Miss,
you is
I
saying each truck will make 3 trips. If each truck carries 40 bags and each truck makes 3 trips, how many bags that in all?
Miss, that would give you 280.
280. But how many bags the 3,000 kilogram? Remember, we worked out in 7A and you said it. The 3,000 kilograms is 120 bags. So why do we need so many trips if each truck can carry 40 bags? Why we need 6 trips, 3 trips for each truck? That sounds like too many trips for the 120. Alisa, you're saying 750, 750 what? Remember, the question is how many trips will each truck need to carry the 3,000 kilograms? In 7A, we had already worked out that the 3,000 kilograms would be equivalent to 120 bags. But 3 students are saying, are sure, 6 trips will be needed, 3 for each truck. But I'm thinking that's too many trips. Because if each truck carries 40 and each truck makes 3 trips, 120 each, that's 240. So Madison is saying trips for one and 1 trip for the other. Madison, tell me how you come by that.
Miss, since each bag weighs 25 kilograms, I saw how many times 25 can go into 1,000. And it goes 40 times. So each 40 bags full are 1,000 kilograms. So, and there's 3,000 kilograms. So 1,000 into 3,000 goes 3 times. And one truck can take 2 trips, and the other one can take 1 trip.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking too. But remember, we had already worked out for part 7A, 120 bags. So you didn't need to go back and we already did that. And that's why it's part A, part B. So whenever you see different parts, usually the early you're going to need it for the later. You have to start over from scratch. So always check if the answer that you need now was something you already worked out. So we already worked out. We need 100. It's 120, and each truck carries 40. So Madison is correct. One truck will make 2 trips, and one will only need to make 1 trip. Jaden, please.
Miss, it is no, okay. Number 8. 8 large and 12 medium-sized dumpsters will be placed at each intersection in the community. The cost of each large dumpster is $3,400, and the cost of each medium-sized dumpster is $2,800. The GPCA will be given a discount of 10% on the total cost from Harper's Hardware. How much will the GPC pay for the dumpsters on for 30 corners?
Miss, on how I
Read it again. Read it again, Jaden.
Sorry, miss. 8 large dumpsters and 12 medium-sized dumpsters will be placed at each intersection in the community. The cost of each large dumpster is $3,400, and the cost of each medium-sized dumpster is $2,800. The, the GPCA will be given a discount of $10. The GPCA
10%.
The GPCA will be given a discount of 10% on the total cost from Harper's Hardware. How much would the GPCA pay for the dumpsters for 30 corners?
All right. And by corners, it is meant intersect. Let me put that
Okay.
just so that there's no misunderstanding. All right. So how we're going to work this one?
Miss, on how I plan to work this one out.
Go ahead, Antoine.
So since one large dumpster is cost $3,400, Miss, I plan to multiply it by 8 large dumpster by 8, and since the medium dumpsters would be $2,800, I plan to multiply it by 12, then add the both answers together, then find 10% of the answer.
All right, that Antoine. You're right. You're on the right track. So Antoine is saying, since the cost for the large dumpster is 3,400 and there are 8 of them, he's going to multiply the 3,408. And since the cost of the medium dumpster is $2,800, he's going to multiply that because there are 12 medium sized. So when he multiplies that, he's going to add work up 10%, Antoine, else you need to do. After work out 3,004 times 8 and 8 times 12 and add them. Jerry, you're saying you got $6,080. I think you're off by all right. Check your figures again, Jerry. But there's something that needs to be done before you find the 10%. Read them carefully. One thing, what would be missing or we work out the 10% of the cost?
Miss, would you multiply? Miss, would you multiply the answers the answers of the arithmetic you just did by 30 since there are 30 intersections?
That is correct. Tell me those figures so far. So the 2004, the 400 times 8 would give what?
27,200.
27,200.
200.
Right? And the 2008 times give
2,000.
32,600.
36,000. Yeah.
and when we add them together, when we
60,800.
add those together, okay, so 60,800. And now Jaden is saying it's 30 intersections. So we need to
So
multiply
we
that number by 30.
Yes, miss,
All
I
right.
agree.
So the 60,800 times 30 gives what?
Miss, may you repeat the number for the 2,800
Miss, it
times
gives you
30?
1,824,000.
Okay, so it was 60,800 times 30. And Jerry is saying
It's
1,824,000.
1,824,000.
Yes,
And
I
then,
agree.
Miss, when
That's
you find,
1
Miss, then when you find 10% of
So that's
that,
what
that's
it's
gonna
gonna
give you,
cost.
Miss, but you need to find the 10%
So how much
discount.
is the 10%?
Miss, it's gonna give you
What's 10 of?
182. Miss, it's 182,400.
All right, and what's the final step? No. So that is the discount, the final step to find how much they're going to have to pay. Remember, no, there's discount, so the hardware is going to take off that amount of the cost, right?
Miss, you subtract it from the 1,800 and the 1,842,000, Miss.
824 minus 182,400, and that does what? What's the final answer?
Miss, is it
So at the top we
one
have
million six hundred?
182.
Miss, is it gonna give you one million six hundred and
Go
forty-one
ahead, Jer.
thousand six hundred? 1,600,000,
Correct. So that's
1,641,600.
correct. $1,661,600. All right, and the last question,
Agreed, miss.
Johnny is saying goodbye. He has to leave early. Bye, Johnny. All right, John, number 9. And this is the last
Miss,
question.
Miss, what was the last number? What was the answer for the
Okay, Miss.
last one?
1,641,600. 1,641,600. You may go ahead, John.
Okay, Miss. Talking rubbish. Number 9. At Christmas time, each garbage collector received a bonus of 25,000, courtesy of the citizens of GPCA. Okay. If there were 9 collectors, how much money was shared among them? Talking rubbish.
Miss, is it
Number
225,000?
Hold on, Jer. Allow him to read the question again. Go
Number
ahead,
9.
John.
Yes, Miss. Number 9. At Christmas time, each garbage collector received a bonus of 25,000, courtesy of the citizens of GPCA. If there were 9 collectors, how much money was shared among them?
All right, go ahead now, Jer.
Miss, is it 225,000?
Yes, Miss, I got that as well.
And you need to tell me how you
Miss, you would multiply
sorry.
$25,000
You're
that
saying
each
that's what.
collector would get by 9 because there are 9 collectors.
Okay. All right, so it's 25,000 that each collector got times the 9 collectors, and that's $220,000. All right, that is correct.
I agree.
Miss,
I agree.
That's all right. So Antoine,
Yes,
and that is the end of our performance task. Now remember, tomorrow we're going to be having our ability test as usual, and we have all week, 5 classes per week. All right, so thank you, scholars, for being with me and sharing the time and the space. And I'll see
excuse me,
you tomorrow.
Bye, Miss.
Yes, Jaden?
Miss. So we're gonna be having the extra lesson class on the exam days too.
Definitely, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Remember to say good night, scholars.
yes, miss.
Good
Bye,
night.
everyone. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone. Good night. Bye, Miss. Bye, everyone.
Hello, CSEC math students. You are busy preparing for your math tests and your CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. Do you like my new hat? Thank you. No, very important question. Have you ever gotten a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as tons of other students have. Now, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics in CSEC math. We're going to look at common errors, demystify everything, show you watch every video in this series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So stay tuned. Hello, scholars. Did you know that most times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error or one mistake? Well, this is absolutely true, and we're going to be looking at that students make in the different topics of mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid making them. Are you ready? Come on.